Hello and welcome to Mindfulness with Mary. I'm so happy you're here. With our meditation, I invite you to let your experience be your teacher, and I will guide you. If anything becomes difficult during our meditation today, I invite you to check it first with curiosity. If needed, provide some kindness to yourself, or maybe even focus on your breath. If you're If there's still difficulty, you're welcome to change your practice as needed. Now let's get started with today's meditation. And we're going to start meditating a little bit differently today. What we're going to do is meditate on difficult feelings, just knowing that they're not who we are, but it's what we sometimes have. So we're going to start with a heart opening exercise. And if any emotions feels too difficult to navigate or put down, please go back to this heart opening exercise. But before we do the heart opening exercise, I want to help set up a sense of calm and safety with our nervous system, because lots of times our nervous system is going to dictate how we perceive those feelings and how we react to them and with them. So this is to help widen our window of tolerance or range of resilience. So with your eyes open, first, just look around your space. I'd like you to develop a sense of physical boundaries. So slowly look from side to side, just looking at where your space ends. Maybe it's the walls, and just side to side, just kind of gauging how much room there is between the walls. You can even look behind you, look back, see what's behind you. Maybe an open door or a closet or another room. And just settle in that space. And then you can look up at the ceiling if you like, just knowing the distance between the ceiling and your head. And then looking down, noticing your feet. Are they on the floor? Do you feel a little bit grounded in your seat? What could you do to maybe get a little bit more comfortable where you are right now? And then looking back at the screen, and then looking past the screen, and just letting your eyes focus outward a little bit further, letting them relax. Whatever is out further from your screen. And just being here in this moment. Taking the time to orient into our physical space where our bodies reside. And then take a moment to listen. Is there anything else making noise other than my voice? In my background, I can hear my laundry going. My dog's she's not snoring yet. But what do you hear? Is there anything that you might be hearing outside of my voice? And then what about smell? Sometimes if you practice safely lighting incense or a candle when you meditate, smell could be an anchor that helps you feel a little bit more grounded or centered at ease. You might smell maybe some lunch that might be coming on, or breakfast you had, or maybe you have a candle or incense that you lit before practice. And then while we're here, let's go back into our body, and then just If you're able, let gravity hold you, releasing any tight muscles or muscles that think they need to hold you up. Just release a little bit more into where you're sitting, releasing any tight or tense muscles that you might have. And let me just give you a couple more minutes to settle in, taking a few deep breaths if you like, or placing a hand anywhere where you feel you might be tight or tense. But this is all around our physical boundaries and body. And then going to the heart. Sometimes you can just feel the area where your heart resides. Or sometimes you might not feel anything at all. You're welcome to put a hand on your heart where it would be. And just imagine it opening up a little bit more. Like something that's excited you, or just even a deep love for a pet, or a grandparent, or a little one. And then turn that love back to yourself. If you're able, that little bit of self-compassion, knowing that you've taken this time today for yourself. And if at any time during this meditation you'd like to feel, or if you're feeling a little overwhelmed, you can go back to the heart space and the open heart. Or you could go back to the grounding your feet on the floor, or even your breath, focusing on your in and out breath. And as we take the time to orient in our physical boundaries, let's take a moment and orient into our internal boundaries. There's lots of different types, including emotional, mental, spiritual boundaries, logical boundaries. We can place boundaries around these. Boundaries are here to protect you and what you allow in. Boundaries aren't to control anybody else, but just to help keep you safe. I don't know if you've heard it before, but the saying, I'm responsible for my actions, but I'm not responsible for your interpretations of them. A healthy, logical boundary protects your intent, but it should never be used to erase your impact. We're now going to pick up and examine a few feelings in our life and see how they shape our beliefs and what types of boundaries we have for them. The first one is grief, mourning the loss of your healthy self, your past lifestyle, or future plans. Just hearing the change of what could happen or what has happened in your life. Is there any grief around it? And if there is, Just imagine self-compassion sitting next to that grief, like friends, just knowing grief isn't who you are, it's just what's come in. Grief isn't linear, and it might come up one day and then leave you for months and then come up again. And just noticing, what does grief feel like in my body? Maybe a sunken heart, watery eyes, a pang in the stomach. And just imagine it moving through you. It might take a while. It might be a long weather storm. Or maybe it's just one of those bursts of rain showers that clear quickly. Grief is one of those tricky ones that may always find a place within you. It doesn't always stay there, but it does visit a lot. And that self-compassion is so important in that grief process. Now let's look, if you're ready to move on, at anxiety. Anxiety can happen about constant worry over symptom flare-ups, financial costs, and potential disease progression. Anxiety is about worrying about the future and what could happen. Yet the beautiful thing is, it hasn't happened yet. Yet there is logic in being concerned about what the future holds. So learning about that grasping, am I grasping for an outcome? Or am I embracing what's here and now? And just understanding the difference can help ease some of that anxiety between what is happening now and what I'm thinking about might happen later. And sit with that for a moment. And are there any anxious, ruminating thoughts about the future that you have that maybe you could let go, or at least acknowledge? Know that it might not come true. And again, that's self-compassion and self-acceptance. This is the one where I go to my open heart. And then what we've been talking about earlier today, about anger, resentment about the unfairness of an illness, or frustration with medical systems. Yeah, there is a lot of anger there. I know my default is to turn anger into irony. And almost laugh at it like it's humorous. There's only so much we can control. Yet deep down it still hurts. There's still a part of me. it has that frustration moving through, but I try not to grab it. What do you do with your anger? It's okay to punch a pillow or scream. Sometimes you have to let it out. It is telling you something. Again, you can go back to your open heart or having your feet on the floor, grounded. Just investigating these emotions and how they come in and out of our lives. Another big one is guilt. Feeling like a burden to family members or blaming yourself for an illness. Guilt is very connected to shame. Guilt is, I did something bad, or something bad might be happening to me. But shame is, I am bad. I made the bad thing happen to me. And just notice if there is any guilt or even shame. Can you tell the difference? Can you make shame look a little bit more like guilt? Shame is that sticky one that can stick and stay and shape some of our beliefs. Sometimes taking control makes it feel a bit more managed, yet the belief of shame is not completely realistic. And with your out breath, you're welcome to let go of any shame that you might be carrying. And again, feeling that open heart for maybe a loved one or an animal, and turning that love back onto yourself. Knowing that, like any weather pattern, these emotions can come and go. And the last one is loneliness. A feeling of loneliness or isolation caused by others not truly understanding your daily physical struggles. And this could be from an illness, this could be from work, this could be from being a caretaker. And recognizing that loneliness is different than being alone. And sometimes being alone is maybe a helpful thing. Even though we're in a group right now, we are alone with our thoughts and our feelings, just trying to understand them more. We're not lonely, we're alone, taking the time to process, allowing the feelings to come in and out. And with all of that, thinking about our emotions, I want to come back into the body. I want to take a few minutes though before we go back into the body and just send some love and compassion to all of us that have dealt with all of these emotions and more. Maybe skillfully, maybe not so skillfully. Each opportunity gives us the chance and the choice to make different decisions and to learn from them. So going back into the physical body, here are some ideas or ways that we can help ourselves. In our mindset, we could shift from go with the flow to flow with the anchors. We don't have to become an aggressive or confrontational person. We can still be easygoing, but with hard anchors. An anchor means you flow until a core logical boundary is crossed, like someone distorting facts or crossing a limit, at which point you can calmly state the boundary that's being violated based on the feelings that are happening in your system. Sometimes surrendering the fight, instead of clenching our muscles to force things to stop or to force things into the way of being that we want it to, we can surrender the fight and stop grasping and be in the here and now. When a feeling arises, you can make a list of, when I feel sad, this is what I need. Just ask yourself in the moment. When the emotion arises, what is the need? What do I need behind this emotion? Maybe I need my husband to listen to me more. Maybe I need to stop listening to my husband as much. There's a need. So taking taking a little bit of time to understand what's driving that emotion. Also, you can slow the tempo if you're in a space where anger is happening and things feel like your window of tolerance is closing. You can speak 10% slower than you think you need to. This can regulate your breathing. It signals to your brain that you're safe. And you can go back to a baseline that's a little bit calmer. So pausing can be very helpful. And also, if you'd like to try this one with me now, grounding your weight. When you feel adrenaline spike, you can physically drop your shoulders and press your feet flat to the floor and let the ground hold your weight so your nervous system doesn't have to. Just allow it to move through you. You don't have to be the container of all of that angst and all of that energy. Just let it move through you. And the last one you can practice is stop grasping. Grasping is the desperate desire to fix a broken situation or force someone to understand your perspective. When you stop grasping, you step out of the quicksand entirely. Just because our beliefs might be different, it doesn't mean either one of them is wrong. Just letting go, dropping the need for validation. These are ways to help those emotions come through us in a more easeful way. And now, in the last couple minutes of our meditation, we're going to take a couple deep breaths. And I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to take some time to either stay in your body, going back to what you're hearing or smelling, your feet on the floor, relaxing any muscles. Or you're welcome to go back into your internal world. Maybe looking at one of the emotions again, helping it clear through, or sitting with it like a friend. And if none of that sounds good, you can focus on your breath or put a hand on your heart and just send love out to the universe and back to yourself. gently ring a bell to let you know that our meditation is now over. And when you're ready, you're welcome to open your eyes, or perhaps you didn't close them because I never told you to. But that's okay. You can slowly come back into our group. Welcome back to the present moment. I am grateful you've taken the time to meditate today. Using the time, space, and tools, my hope is that we better understand our thoughts and emotions without judgment. May your experience and learnings be applied in the weeks ahead. May you continue to find and use skillful means as we navigate this journey called life. Until next time, may you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may you be happy.